Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, congratulations to Vetriel from Asia server for winning the tournament for May. So thanks to him, I did cheer for him. So I am getting my 50 unique tickets as well. Damn, my voice sounds different today. What's happening? Ahem. Ahem. Maybe it's because I just woke up. Ahem. Okay, so today we'll be checking out the Magician. Alright, so today's day 4, I believe. Still haven't picked the day 2 and day 3 one, but we'll check out day 4 regardless. Okay, so in this list, this is probably the easiest one to choose from because there's actually not much good choices here, and none of these choices are extraordinarily strong either. Alright, in the Defenders one, we have Iris, for example, which is like super strong compared to the rest. But right here, even though Sherman and Esther is the only one that's like plus 15, like they are not really super strong in the sense that it's a must-have, right? Sherman can be used in the regular arena. I've seen players run him and he can deal with taunts pretty well because of his ability to basically charge up. He can stack up insane amount of attack and crit damage. Very crazy. Alright, so over the course of 50 turns, if you have a Sherman moving at like maybe like somewhere in turn 8 or turn 9 and you charge up all the way to the second round, it's going to increase the crit damage and attack by an insane amount. But the problem is he cannot receive buffs. Alright, so this is the downside. No buffs, no debuffs, so therefore he's going to be very rune dependent. Alright, so if you have strong runes to equip on Sherman, he's going to be really strong. If you do not have strong runes to equip on him, the struggle is going to come in right there because he cannot really get up his... I've seen players try to give 1 crit rate because ideally 1 crit rate is good so that he can get 100% crit rate. By default he has 40% base crit rate, and then 1 more can be either crit damage or assault or whatever, but most of the time 100% crit rate so that he has the 100% chance to basically deal with the opponents, right? So yeah, he's actually really strong. Nullifier, 300% times attack, very high modifier right there. So back then, this was back then before Albion. I've seen lots of players use Sherman specifically to get rid of Glacier, to get rid of Gran, but obviously after Albion, the usage dropped a little bit because Sherman cannot deal with Albion Gran's buff, based on what I've seen. So yeah, Sherman is actually a good candidate, but do keep in mind though, even though you can get him at plus 9, if you want him to be usable in arena and to be really strong, he needs at least plus 14 or 15. Alright, so that's going to need some investment in companions wise. Esther on the other hand is also pretty good. She is the only other units on this list that can be plus 15 right now, and if you can go all the way to plus 14, she is going to be pretty decent in a lot of world boss scenarios. Alright, so obviously that's going to need some companions, a little bit of extra resources, and if you're looking for world boss specific, just to boost the incoming damage boost, alright, for Arcstar, Zarka is going to be better, because Esther right here can get up to 100% increase for the incoming damage boost, whereas if you go Zarka all the way to plus 10, you're getting 145%, so that's 45% more than an Esther. But of course Esther is much more usable in Novice as well. If you have her at plus 15, she has more damage, more range. Zarka is going to be specifically for world boss. Can still be used in Novice, but not as strong as Esther. Alright, so I would say you have to gauge based on that. So Sherman might be the top priority, and I would say for a good reason, right? That's going to be mostly for veteran players though. If you are new, right, you need something to help you in campaign, Hell is going to be better. Alright, plus 9 Hell, definitely still a solid one. Obviously her usage is going to drop significantly once you have Seto and stuff, but she's still going to be solid in some stages in Evil Castle, I think, because there are some stages you cannot bring warriors or whatever to get the perfect 3 stars, so that's something to consider. Chalkel can also be an option. Unfortunately, yeah, with the value of Seto rising, Chalkel's value might drop because they both have the same role essentially. Alright, if you are looking for a counter explosion explosive unit. Alright, Seto is also going to be better overall. So I'm guessing most players will pick for Seto. So Chalkel's value sort of like drop. Same goes with Zakan. Of course, you can still build him for Guild Wars or Underground. But then Chalkel at a +9 might not be as strong as something like a Zakan at +9. Alright, Chalkel needs the +10 more. Because if you look at the reflect, 30% at +9. But if you go to +10, it's 40%. So that's actually much more of a bigger deal, because at +9, you can see he might even struggle to get rid of Angelica or Edit. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. Okay. Also with the rise of Beliaf, most players will have Beliaf, so Zakan Chalkel might not be used that much anymore. But he's still a good to have, you know, for backup reasons. So Charlotte is also good in World Boss, and so far, she is actually an essential one in World Boss Ogdut, if you're looking to tackle that World Boss specifically, because of this skill right here. So in Ogdut, she can stack this one, 35%, alongside with the DOT burn, 35%, total of 70% incoming damage boost. Alright, very crazy, but she's also, you know, gonna be used just right there. In Novice, I don't see many players running her at all. I used to run her, that was like before the +15 era, but right now, I don't think you can really run her and win battles anymore, because there's just so many good units to pick from, right? So I'm not sure if you want to pick Charlotte as your main like DPS or anything like that. Dr. Logic, I've never used this guy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've never used this guy. So I can't really gauge on how good he is. He does have fixed damage though. Keep in mind, he's the only unit on this list that has fixed damage. But fixed damage on a magician with this kind of tile range really doesn't make sense. Alright, there's a lot of units, warriors like Dalvi or Aizen in most cases. You know, Aizen doesn't really do fixed damage, but he can deal with 100% defense units. So that's something that you can consider as well. I have never ran into a scenario where I will actually use my Dr. Logic. Never. Alright, not in Evil Castle, not in the Novice, never use him. So I can't really gauge on how strong he is. I would say he's probably one of the weaker ones on this list, alongside with Kyle. Alright, same goes for Kyle. Never use this guy, man. I've tested him before. He does have intense range, insane range. But in most cases, I've never used him before. Never had the need to use him before. I would say in Novice, Esther is going to be better. And Leah is equally as worse. Alright, so the only place where you can use Leah is World Boss as well. Okay, so she can pair with Tamis and Aaron for the set effect, if you're looking for that. For the World Boss of Transport World Bosses, Son of Sanctuary, right there. Alright, so HP increase 30% if you have the set effect. Other than that, again, same, I've never actually used a Leah before. Alright, never had a need to use her anywhere. So Nayus, very unique. I've actually had the need to use her in the campaign. She actually helps from chapter 49 or somewhere around there. So very crazy. Alright, insane unit to basically burst to all the opponents right there, because she does have stigma based damage. This thing right here, Claw Bomb. So she's a good pair with Taunt. If you have John, if you have, what else? Anyone that can taunt. Endolin, Albion, very strong unit right there. So yeah, overall to sum it up, I would say Sherman, priority. If you want to go for second one, Esther. And then you can decide between Chalkel, Hel, Charlotte and Zakra, depending on which content you want to tackle more. Alright, Chalkel is going to be used mostly for Guild Wars and Underground Arena. Hel, mostly for Evil Castle, maybe in some campaign stages. Charlotte and Zakra, World Boss. Nayus campaign as well. Leah, gonna be World Boss as well. And Dr. Logic and Carl, I've never used them before. Never had a need to use them. Alright, I'm not saying that they are useless. There could be some scenarios where you can actually benefit from them, but I've never seen the need to actually get a +9 version of them. But yep, that's overall my priority in the picks. Okay, so as always, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.